Today I want to talk about something that doesn't get nearly enough credit when it comes to achieving financial freedom, and that is resiliency. Most people, myself included, think about financial freedom and financial independence in terms of numbers. How much you need invested, your withdrawal rate, market returns. But there's another side to it, and that's how resilient you are. Resiliency is an important concept because not only is it a way to achieve financial freedom, it's also one of the biggest reasons why you should want financial freedom in the first place. The more resilient you are, the less dependent you are on external comforts and conveniences. If you can live with less, you're harder to shake. If you don't need luxury, you aren't afraid of losing it. And if you aren't afraid of losing it, you're free to make decisions based on your values, not what keeps you comfortable. It's not that luxury is bad, it's just important to recognize it for what it is, an enhancement, not a need. And what exactly is luxury? Well, I think luxury is anything that provides extra comfort, convenience, or aesthetic appeal beyond basic functionality, and often at the cost of simplicity, resilience, and self-sufficiency. For example, a car is functional, but heated leather seats? Luxury. A house provides shelter. A mansion with a separate home theater? Luxury. A pound of ground beef nourishes. A 5-course meal with wine pairings? Luxury. Stairs get you from one level of a structure to another. An escalator to save you the trouble of stepping? Luxury. And this is important because so much of what we think is normal in daily life is actually a modern luxury. Hot water, air conditioning, same-day shipping, dishwashers, drive-thrus. Don't get me started. These are not guaranteed. They're inventions, and once they become ordinary, we stop appreciating them. But here's the kicker. If you can't function without these things, they aren't just luxuries anymore. They are vulnerabilities. One of the best ways to build resiliency is to intentionally go without sometimes. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, called this practicing poverty. The idea is simple. If you experience life with less, you lose the fear of losing what you have. It's about proving to yourself that you'll be okay without certain things. That makes you more adaptable, less fragile, and actually more appreciative of what you do have. And with the right mindset, this way of thinking actually makes you happier because there is joy and satisfaction in doing hard things, going without, or adding challenge to your life even though you don't have to. By intentionally going without, you can improve your resilience and actually be happier in the process. Let's look at some examples. These are some things that came to mind that I intentionally reduce my reliance on. I don't rely on a car, I bike or walk as much as possible, and I've intentionally chosen to live somewhere that makes this more possible. I don't rely on restaurants, I cook at home. I don't need elaborate meals with many ingredients. Most of the time, it's just meat and salt. I don't need a gym membership to exercise. I use my body and simple equipment at home. I don't need a treadmill to walk. I just go outside. I don't need perfect weather. I dress appropriately and go outside and walk regardless of the weather. Unless there's lightning. I hate lightning. I don't need Starbucks. I make my coffee at home. And I don't need cream or sugar. I drink my coffee black. And I'd like to reduce my reliance on coffee altogether, but I'm still working on that. I don't need cable TV or multiple streaming services. I read or watch YouTube. I don't need shampoo, conditioner, or hundreds of other products cluttering up my shower because I only use one thing, and that is this Castile soap. I don't need a barber shop. I cut what's left of my hair at home. I don't need an elevator or escalator. I look for opportunities to take the stairs instead because who couldn't use an extra opportunity for exercise baked into their day? I don't need a leaf blower. I use a broom or a rake. I don't need a big house. I'm happy in a small, simple space that is easy to maintain. I'm not dependent on medications. I focus on my health and avoid them whenever possible. It's not that I never use these things. I'm definitely not living like a monk over here. But I make sure I am able to go without them and I'm not reliant on them. And as you reduce your reliance more and more, you start to realize how little you actually need to be happy. There's strength in resiliency. This is what financial freedom is really about. It's not just about stacking up enough money to quit your job. It's about making yourself stronger, more resilient, so you aren't reliant on things that are outside of your control. When you aren't desperate to keep up with a certain lifestyle, you have power. You can say what you really think. You can stand up for yourself and others. You can make decisions that align with your values. You don't have to stay in a job you hate just because you're afraid of losing access to your luxuries. This is why being frugal, even in a world of abundance, is such an intentional, powerful way to live. Because when you want less, you're freer than most other people around you. And if and when bad things happen, like losing your job or a global pandemic, you're better equipped to handle them. Whether it's an economic crash or a sudden emergency, resilience helps you ride it out. That's what the whole FIRE movement is about. Whether people realize it or not, the key to the whole thing, to making it work, to making it sustainable, is becoming more resilient. You look at Early Retirement Extreme, Your Money or Your Life, or the Mr. Money Mustache blog. Under the surface, it's all about resiliency. Do hard things because it's a better way to live and it will help you achieve financial freedom sooner. It reminds me of one of my favorite Mr. Money Mustache blog posts, Muscle Over Motor. Mr. Money Mustache writes, "A motorboat will get you across the lake quickly, but wait a minute, you like being on the lake, so why not use your muscles to actually earn your trip across it? It takes longer. That is a good thing. You will enjoy the beers on the deck afterwards much more when you really deserve them." At the end of the day, resiliency comes down to knowing what's enough for you. Because no matter how much money you have, if you always want more, you'll never feel rich. Most people already have way more than they need. The average American household has 10,000 to 50,000 items, and most of those items aren't about necessity. They're about status, impulse, or just habit. So the next time you're about to buy something, ask yourself, do I really need this? Or am I just on autopilot? And will this purchase make me more or less resilient? Now, there is a balance here. And that's why I think the real key to financial freedom and making a financial independence lifestyle sustainable is to think less about hoarding money and more about building resiliency and a happy life. So that's the takeaway here. Build resiliency, reduce your reliance on external luxuries, comforts, and conveniences, and get comfortable with enough. Because the less you need, the more resilient and free you become, making it easier to focus on your happiness. And oh, by the way, this also makes it easier to save more money. If you found this video useful, hit the like button, subscribe for more, and let me know in the comments what's one thing you've intentionally given up or reduced in your life to become more resilient. Thanks for watching.